My S&P 6900 target is 100 billion.
Could we call you the Warren Buffett of meme coins?
You have like 10,000 coins launching per day.
I think this is going to become the biggest meme coin in the world.
Hi, Murad. It's a pleasure to have you here on the podcast. And one thing I love about you is that when you went to Token 2049 on stage, your presentation, you chilled your whole bag. And in that bag, there was S&P 6900. And since the presentation, it just went 4x crazy on the big market cap like that. And I want to understand a little bit more, why would you choose this meme coin? Because you had an approach to meme coin that is really based on data, on social points. And I want you to explain a little bit more, how do you find those ones? Because a lot of your calls have been paying off massively. So for example, on this one, why did you choose to invest into S&P 6900?
Yeah. So my whole thesis for the past 6 to 8 months has been that obviously I've been kind of banging on the table that I believe that the next year and a half is going to be a meme coin cycle. I'm very bullish for meme coins in 2025 overall. And so once we agree on that, we kind of have to start looking at individual meme coin assets. Before we do that, I think what's going on right now is that a lot of centralized exchange perp traders, they're kind of longing and buying and swing trading kind of large caps like Pepe and WIF, etc. And then you have a long tail of kind of retail, slightly quote unquote more degen people gambling on smaller caps, micro caps, new launches, pump funds, etc. And I don't think that's the way to go. And the reason I don't think that's the way to go is because of something which I refer to as meme coin production per day. Right. So when WIF and Popcat were first kind of being launched in late 2023, you only had a few hundred meme coins being created per day. So choosing winners, it was easier. And also the overall liquidity relative to the number of coins was much better. Right. Now you have 10,000 coins launching per day. Right. Obviously, if we go further into the meme coin cycle, you're going to have 100,000 coins launching per day, 200 coins launching, millions maybe even. Right. And so I think the odds, the statistical odds are going to be worse and worse in terms of will you be able to choose the winner or not? And also large caps are large caps. Right. So I actually think I've been saying this since April. And I still think it's true today. The biggest deep value is in mid caps, and specifically something we refer to as cults. Cults is essentially just a fancy word for a really, really, really strong community. And to me, when you're investing in memes, you're actually investing in people. And so you want to find where those very, very passionate people are. And my thesis is that cults are going to be the next big thing. And so I pretty much was researching everything, made a list of top 25 cults, and was slowly choosing 10 that I think are highest potential, kind of studying on-chain metrics, market capital holders, various measures of decentralization and distribution, talked about all of that on Twitter. So if you go on my Twitter, specifically the media tab, you'll see a lot of sort of comparisons between meme coins, both on Ethereum and Solana. Ultimately, SPX 6900, a very unique coin in my opinion, because it's not an animal coin. It's something that we call a movement coin. Essentially, I think it's a next step in the evolution, because instead of tokenizing pictures, we're now tokenizing a philosophy, an idea, and I think it's very powerful. I think it's the future. And that's a big reason why I sort of invested and slowly accumulated during the summer, because it's just completely different to everything else.
Yeah. So before going into more how you did this research, the cult and the mission behind S&P 6900, if I'm not wrong, is to flip the S&P 500, right?
Yes. The core mission here is to flip the S&P 500.
Nice. So that's an interesting coin for me. And we're going to go how to filter to find the ones you talk about. Because I don't know why, but S&P is one of the first that I saw when I started to be in meme coins. One that I remember the most because it was so different. It was so strange. You see this manga lady dancing, and then there's so many things that I did not understand. And then the community was strong. So when did you started to accumulate this coin, or when did you first see it, and when did you started to buy some?
I actually had a very small bag since the summer of 2023 or September 2023. And that was during Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic 10 Inu season, Smurfcat season, Joe coin season. So that during that Ethereum meme coin summer in 2023. But what I was doing is I started researching coins much more aggressively in February, March, April. And I was almost in all of the Twitter spaces for a lot of the cult coins. and hanging out in their like Telegrams and Discords and group chats, etc. A lot of the times anonymously or through a smaller Twitter account. And I just really like what I was hearing. A lot of passion in the spaces, great NFT collection, and ultimately it boiled down to media for me. So their memes, their video edits, their like all of their mimetic artwork is just like very, very powerful and unique. And you could sense that the average kind of IQ in the community was like higher than in a lot of animal coins. And I was very inspired by that.
Yeah, I think there is like an accurate test that's performed between like kind of feel like in the small market cap, like so before bonding curve, like below 100K market cap or below 1 million the market cap, the IQ is usually not that high. And then you go into those mid caps. So what do you consider as a mid cap actually? Which market cap?
Yeah, so I mean, we can talk about market caps. I usually look at everything between sort of 10 million, 5 million, and 200 million.
Okay.
That being said,
and
that being said, though, a much more important variable for me is time, because I don't buy new launches at all. I don't gamble on new launches, and I don't buy anything that's like recent, new, or flavor of the day, or anything that's shilled by KOLs. I think that whole game is rigged. I think that whole game is corrupt, and I am strongly against it. I only buy cults, and I don't think you can have a cult that's like younger than 5-6 months. So I only buy stuff that has existed for at least like 4 or 5 months and has undergone at least like 2 large like negative 70% dips.
We're gonna try to find some together later on. So for example, on this one, so SPX, so you started to see this, and how do you go through when we arrive at this stage where your coin keeps going down, keeps going further down? How do you feel at that time? If you can recall at the beginning of September, basically.
Yeah, so I mean, I have my own checklist of things I look for in coins, and I saw an opportunity with SPX because it essentially ticked all of my boxes for what I wanted to see: unique artwork, unique sort of mission, a lot of unique culture and lingo, unique slogans, like really cool posters on Twitter. But the only thing that it didn't have, like a lot of their sort of community leaders and community lieutenants, they were like 5K follower accounts, 10K follower accounts. So I thought that SPX was extremely undervalued. Essentially, it had everything that I love in a meme coin except like an attentional push. And I thought that because it's so undervalued, I kind of like need to tell people about it, and I need to show people that like this is just so much more unique and cooler than just another animal coin number 65,765. You know what I mean? So because it's so much different to everything else, and it's also finance themed, I think it has a lot of potential, because ultimately you do need TradFi money in order to push things to hardcore, like super high valuations. And I think TradFi is going to resonate with the meme that memes about TradFi. Does that make sense? So it's a very interesting combination here.
A little bit like when GameStop was just about how we can squeeze out the investment funds. That was kind of like
There's certainly a similar philosophical dynamic here for sure.
And because you have such an approach with data and then the checklist and everything with meme coins, could we call you the Warren Buffett of meme coins?
No, I mean I have a very long way to go until something like this. That being said, I do believe that I did jokingly tell somebody a few weeks ago that like the next Warren Buffett is some meme person on Twitter, or probably even a meme person on like TikTok, because that's even more like the future, because like the Zoomer and the Gen Alpha attention spans have collapsed even more than those of the millennials, and I think video content is pretty much going to be like everything, and probably even some kind of like VR 3D content is going to be everything in the future. So TikTok is like massively undervalued when it comes to like meme coin potential, meme coin future, meme coin marketing.
As of today, yeah. I would argue though, like for example, I know Ponke, they have a massive team on TikTok and they post a lot, but I don't think their chart looks that great as of today. It started to reverse back, but yeah, so I do agree with you that it's going to go video first. And I think a lot of people do not realize that on Twitter. They think like crypto Twitter is going to be always still the same thing. And I saw that a lot where people, they kind of like, they just want their own circle. They just think like, oh, I'm the cool person in this circle, but we have a really cringy space. And I think like when retail gonna come, they're not gonna listen to us or to the people that they see that are crypto Twitter, because I don't think they're always gonna resonate with it. So so this one had a massive run on the second meme bull run, if we could say that was around summer 24, and a drop. Would you consider this one as a cult, or you didn't study it, or you saw that one before, Punky?
Yeah, so I personally don't hold this. Because to me, it's essentially a Pepe derivative, and
it's not an original one. It's not enough.
Yeah, I personally, so I like what they're doing with like the video media and like Instagram and TikTok. I like how like they're looking for different distribution channels than other coins and sort of escaping the crypto Twitter bubble. But one of my personal principles is to not buy derivatives. So unfortunately, I don't really buy derivatives.
Yeah, that makes sense. For me, like this one, I mean, it probably will run, but I think it's a big marketing team behind it. It's not a cult per se. I think it's a well-organized organization behind it. Cool. So, and plus it's almost a $200 million market cap. So we're going out of the makeup. So when it was here, what do you think make this, if you have an answer, like this reverse of trend that was crazy from 6th of September? Was it a special event or just a change of mood? And then
it's just positive momentum. It would have happened. It would have happened eventually regardless, because I think this is going to become the biggest meme coin in the world. And I think this is just the world discovering it.
The reason for this will be the biggest meme coin.
I think this is going to be the biggest meme coin in the world. I think it's going to be the biggest meme coin in human history. And the reason for that is because it's a meme coin that's most similar to BTC. And BTC perfected the cult formula. And it perfected the movement formula. And essentially, I think SPX 6900 is a smaller and a newer chance to kind of ride a wave that's similar to BTC itself.
So that's like flipping Doge and everything will be huge market cap. Do you think Doge gonna come back?
If 2025 is a meme coin cycle, then Doge probably does go to its new highs. Quite possibly, for structural reasons, because it's like plugged into a lot of like custody, institutional, and sort of OTC desks and centralized exchanges and all of that, right? But I don't think, like, my strong belief is that you want to buy new coins rather than old, because if you study past crypto cycles and past altcoin cycles, then new stuff always does better than old stuff. And the reason for that is because the new stuff doesn't have bag holders, which are going to be selling on the way up. And all the moves up are like very hard, very like strong and reflexive, and pretty much pure price discovery.
Yeah, I do agree. And also I think like now that meme and the creation of meme in the past 1-2 years got more general, I think that the coins that are created not only because it's like internet meme for meme coins, like crypto meme coins, like Bonk. I mean, I think no one on TikTok would care about Bonk or Flocky or even Shiba Inu. Like, we were investing in those before, like, because there was no other alternative, I would say. Probably, but I don't think like one example I always like to take is my girlfriend. Is she gonna like the meme coin or not? If she's not gonna like it, there's some issue around it. That's an interesting perspective. And actually, you talk a lot about the meme coin Supercycle. So for you, will you say that we are not going to see all those altcoins booming, and it's gonna be more like meme coins replacing more and more the top 100? Market cap?
Yeah, I mean, if 2025 is going to be bullish, then everything is going to go up. But my theory is that meme coins are going to go up a lot more than altcoins. And that's because with meme coins, you don't have VCs, you don't have unlocks, you don't have inflation, the entire supply is circulating, and the narrative is a lot simpler than technology stuff. Because retail, at this point, if they have to join crypto, in order to understand the tech protocols, they need to learn the restaking, staking, like, you know, impermanent laws, all the layer 2s, layer 3s, bridges, and it's getting like more and more complicated. But memes, they're so universal, everybody can understand them. And also, if you study past cycles, the things that have performed well in the first half of the cycle, they go particularly well in the second half of the cycle. And if you study outperformers thus far, obviously it's the memes that have been doing particularly well, right? Like Pepe, With, Giga, Mog, Popcat, etc. And so I think that's just going to continue in 2025. that's why I think in terms of like risk reward, meme coins have much stronger momentum right now.
And is the stock market already a meme market for you?
So that's a good question. The way it works is because the money supply around the world is growing. People can't save money by keeping their wealth in like fiat money or even sort of checking accounts at banks, and even a lot of like fixed income instruments, they don't work as well as they used to in the past. And because of that, essentially a lot of money gets piled into the traditional stock market. That being said, obviously every single asset in the world, I think it has a fundamental component, and it also has like a mimetic component. Obviously, like Tesla, I think it has a huge mimetic component, right? A huge brand component, a huge Elon Musk component. Same with like Apple, a lot of other sort of cult brands, right? And I don't think especially like AI stocks and tech stocks, they don't trade purely off of fundamentals or cash flows. They definitely have that sort of like mimetic premium, future premium, speculative premium, narrative premium, right? And because of that, to answer your question, I think every asset is mimetic to a different extent.
I would agree, yeah, because my favorite example is always NVIDIA, that had the massive growth recently, but they've been producing GPUs since they're born, and then no one cared, and then I was like, oh, there's ChatGPT. Oh wait, well, I can't buy ChatGPT. So what can I buy? Oh, they use a GPU. Okay, then I'm gonna buy NVIDIA. NVIDIA is cool now. And then we had this kind of a phase where the CEO was everywhere, and then he was wearing the leather jacket like a rock star, and then they was like, okay, that's just the top of the AI bubble. And you think a part of the money from the stock market would go to MemeCoin, or it's like the new money that gets printed that would go to MemeCoin? Or both?
The traditional stock market is so huge, you don't even need, and like the traditional stock market is like it's like $100 trillion or more, if you add up all the indices and all of the equities around the world. But the meme coin market is 40 billion, and the new meme coin market is 10 billion. So that's just so low. Like you need such little inflows for memes to do well, you know? I think it's actually going to be a lot of it is going to be transitions from altcoins to meme coins. Then there's going to be retail money, and I think there's going to be some TradFi money as well.
Okay. And as we have some index funds now, mostly for the stock market, are we going to have index funds of meme coins, or because it's so tribal, people are going to want to say like, oh, I own this coin? Same as the guy who say, I own Tesla, or I bought some Palantir, you know, like something that they can bring on when they talk to their friend.
I think there are going to be meme coin indices for sure.
Okay. That's pretty cool. That would be cool. So let's try, I would like to see a little bit more of the coins you selected, and then I would like to see a little bit more how you find those coins. So I set up my filters here on the screener. $10 million market cap and maximum $200 million market cap, and a pair age of minimum 4,000 hours, which give us something that is at least 1 month old pretty much. Then from here, how would you proceed? Did you go into each of those coins, or like what do you like? What would you look at like when you're on the first screen? For example, I know that Geeko had a massive growth recently. Nubcat same.
So for me, I would actually extend the time filter to more like 3 months, because I think it takes a certain amount of time to build that hardcore community and to survive a certain amount of drops and flushes. And you actually lowered it. You lowered it to 2,000. I would increase it to more like 10,000. Oh, okay, 1 year. Okay, never mind. Yeah. So what I would do is, first of all, I think you already have this, but I only focus on Solana and Ethereum. I know a lot of people are speculating on other chains right now, but if you really want, but personally, I'm more interested in finding things that can go to like 10 billion or higher. And I think for that kind of success, it needs to be on either Solana or Ethereum. That's first of all. Okay. Second of all, like I said, I avoid derivatives. I avoid the vast majority of political coins. I avoid celebrity coins. And I avoid most animal coins as well. Beyond that, I need to look at the chart, and I need to see that the community has survived like 70% drops, and then is kind of on the way towards making a new high. Just to add to that, what I would also do is, obviously, I would just look at the ticker itself, the meme itself, and if I like something, I would hang out in their like Telegram a lot. I would search for the hashtag on Twitter, and see what kind of content they post. But to be completely honest with you, I can immediately tell like if I'm just not going to buy something. Like it's even without studying anything that I've talked about, 99.9% of things, they just get canceled automatically just because I don't resonate with it. I don't resonate with them yet.
Yeah, let's do a quick one when you say ape or pass. Bake.
Pass. I pass everything. I pass everything on this. I would pass everything on this page except Mini, Selfie, Chud. That's it.
Oh, except, okay, Mini, you said. Chud Jack, yeah. I got Twitter rated this one recently. I know some of your holdings as well, but just wanted to see the process. So, for example, Mini, it is kind of an animal coin, right? It's a little cat.
Yeah. So as you know, I'm quite big into PopCat, and I do think we're gonna have a cat season at some point, and soon rather. Mini is essentially like my cat number 3 choice after PopCat and Michi. So I thought it was quite undervalued when I originally found it at like 5 million.
Okay, so you find it, 5 million, now it's at 15. That's pretty good already, congrats. So we had the drops you were talking about, 2 drops at least, 7,000 orders, so that's pretty good as well. You analyze as well the socials, you say, so you check the Telegram, you check what's happening in it. What do you like to see actually when you go on their Twitter, for example?
I like to see a lot of different people rating either myself or other large accounts, and all of them repping Mini either in their avatar, in their background, in their sort of social media bio, social media description. I like to figure out who the community leaders are and talk to them if possible. And then I like to look at their media. So for example, Mini had a lot of like cool memes and videos. And to me, when people put effort into their media production, it's a really good sign. Last but not least, I like real memes. Real memes are essentially memes that actually exist in the outside world and not just completely made up, right?
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Actually, community leader, how would you judge one that is good or bad? Because, I mean, I feel like the ones that I met most of the time in real life, they're like, I was like, okay, I need to sell my bag now.
Yeah, that's
what
a
is
good
a
question.
good community
I think
leader? Yeah.
I personally, I look at the kind of things they tweet and how they tweet them. I look at like how they spend their time. I look at the stuff they are saying in like Telegram or Discord, and obviously I try to kind of find out when they got involved, how they got involved, how much they hold, if that information is available, etc., and then sort of form a subjective opinion around that.
You talked about rating as well, which means for people who don't know, it's when someone posts, if, for example, I say good morning on Twitter, then everyone from that coin is going to comment their ticker on it, say go buy this, post some meme and stuff like that. I personally think that this rating is dying in a way. Like dying, not less people are doing it. No, more people are doing it. And because it became so large and so prominent, it lost its value. It's the same as any marketing tactic, right? Every time you see always the ad, like same as on YouTube, you automatically click it off and then you passed it. So why do you think yourself that rating is still important as of today?
I think it's still important because actually almost every single meme coin that I found and then invested in my portfolio, it came from rate. So I always check notifications and I see who's active. And to me, it's very bullish when people are kind of trying to get noticed, trying to put themselves out there, etc. Second of all, if you're a large account, you get prioritized in terms of how you get seen when you do rate, and like the amount of large accounts or mid-sized accounts that are rating for you, that's going to be a big advantage as well. But ultimately, I get what you mean in terms of like rating losing its efficiency, but I also think that some smarter meme coins or cooler meme coins, they rate in like a more unique way and a more noticeable way and a more relevant way. And I don't think that rating is going to die. I think it's still going to be big in 2025.
I think you're right like this. On this, it's like how you rate is so important, more important than rating, because a lot of people, they would just say, all right, buy this, and then just put the contract address, or just do this, just do that. But they don't even like really try to create a conversation or create original meme. Like for me, when I'm looking at my notification, and then I see some rating, I'm like, I like to see some cool new stuff. Actually, for the fun of it, like when I posted that I was going to interview you, and if you had some question, the post got rated by one community, Sigma. Just say one word, Sigma. When he would call Sigma strongest community, and then after we had different coins, but yeah, Sigma started to rate. You see, like Sigma coin, a lot of those ones. Ask him if he thinks about Sigma. So, how would you judge the Sigma rate on my tweets?
I think the Sigma community is like super strong. Very strong community. Probably would be my second pick in the sort of the masculinity or that kind of category after Giga. And I'm actually bullish on Sigma. I'm bullish on Sigma. If I was making a list of 20 instead of a list of 10, they would definitely be on that list.
Got it. That's interesting. So you said the masculinity one. So you have a cat category. You have a masculinity category. What are the other categories?
Well, so usually I try to look for kind of category leaders. And at least in my portfolio, I picked SPX as like the number one movement coin. I picked Giga as the number one masculinity coin. Or like a lifestyle coin. I picked MOG as the number one culture coin. Apu as like my frog of choice, because I think their community is extremely culty. Popcat as the cat category leader. Retardio and Harry Potter Bombasonic 10 Inu, like more on like the crazy schizo side. And I have a couple of others as well. Like I picked Lock-in on sort of the phrase coin, culture coin side, and Mini, like I said, my cat coin number 3. I also had USA as like the number one country coin. At the time when I called it, like the country narrative was much stronger, but USA probably like is the least performant coin on my list, but I do think it will eventually go up as well.
Got it. Apu on Ethereum then. This one, I do not know the origin story of Apu. For me, it looks like Pepe. So what is the difference between Apu and Pepe?
Completely different memes. I believe Apu originates from a Finnish forum in 2016, and then it became very popular on 4chan after that. It was very popular with the Chainlink community, which itself is like a cult. And a lot of the ex-Chainlink holders have since moved to Apu because people are realizing that this is a MemeCoin supercycle. But in general, I would say Pepe is like a little bit more toxic and a little bit more sort of arrogant in terms of like the memetics, right? And Apu is more about like a wholesomeness and friendship and kindness. And I think there is a lot of that missing in the world. And I also saw Apu guys like raid like crazy. Probably Apu and Michi are some of the best raiders on crypto Twitter, and because of that, I have to be bullish. Also, their website is probably the best MemeCoin website in the industry right now.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. They have a playlist here.
By the way, for the listeners, Apu is going to have an NFT mint on October 5th, and I strongly recommend people to take a look at this and research this. I will personally be, not financial advice, but I will personally be minting a lot of them.
Do we need to hold some Apu to mint the NFT? What are the conditions?
Yeah, you only need to hold like 5 Apu coins.
Okay, so if you hold 5 Apu coins, you get early access. Cool. I would be tempted to mint that with a bot. That might be better than trying to mint manually. So Apu could be like the Retardio of Ethereum.
I think it's a bit different. I think Retardio is more similar to MOG, I would say. And yeah. Apu is just like a kinder version of Pepe. But just on Twitter, you see Apu guys a lot more, at least in the MemeCoin bubble. And I personally resonate with Apu memes more.
I never saw a raid by Pepe.
Well, yeah, because they're already so big, right? But I don't dislike Pepe. I just love Apu. That's kind of what we say.
Okay, I get it. And then also, but I do not know if the retail people and the general public gonna understand the difference between Pepe and Apu, because they could be seen as like, it's just like a withdrawing version if you do not know the scene.
I get what you're saying, but also the Apu business development and marketing team is probably the best in all of crypto. Like they already have so many partnerships with like football teams, MMA, promotional organizations. Yeah. like motorcycle sports like divisions, and they
What do
just
they
straight up
do? Like how do they fund this?
well, they have a lot of wealthy and well-connected whales in sort of their whale groups, and so I've never seen any meme coin do partnerships as amazing as Apu's, and I think eventually it's going to pay off like crazy.
Interesting. So Apu went to a top at $400 million, and now it's sitting at 135. Now, in your portfolio, we basically saw, I think, 2 coins that were on Ethereum, and then so you have 10 coins that you're mostly holding, right?
Yeah. Actually, I have SPX, Apu, Mog, and Harry Potter Sonic 10 Inu. So I have 4 coins on Ethereum and 6 coins on Solana.
Okay. And what do you do the rest of the day then? If you already bought your coins, you don't need to do research to find new coins. Well, what is it like?
So there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. Just kind of talking about the meme coin space in general, talking about the crypto space in general, and trying to sort of tell people that, at least in my opinion, right? And of course, like, people will say I'm just like talking my bags or whatever, but I still genuinely believe that mid-cap cult memes are statistically a better investment than just gambling on small caps. Again, not financial advice, but that's what I believe in. And also, of course, there's like centralized exchange listings. That's a lot of people are trying to help all of the meme coin communities behind the scenes. It's overall on-chain analysis of the entire meme coin space. And it's also because you can have a daily snapshot, but you also need to track how the metrics are evolving across time, right? And just to make sure that there is like steady growth. You know, when long-term investors invest in their portfolios, there's still a lot of sort of monitoring that needs to be done, you know?
So are you checking if one coin could go out your portfolio, and then if another coin could go in the portfolio? Are you going to get more than 10 coins first, or it will stay 10?
I think I'm mostly set already. I might add 1 or 2 more later, but
Okay.
I haven't sold any coin this cycle, and I plan to hold at least until the very end of 2025.
Okay. So if you're holding those, then maybe we get 1 or 2 coming in, but there's no way you're going to move out a coin and say sell it, and it's like, okay, for example, if USA, it's not going anywhere, nothing is happening, are you planning on holding, or just like, okay, this one I was wrong and then I'm moving on?
So for me personally, I'm just not going to sell. I'm not going to sell until like October, November, December of 2025.
Are you the kind of guy that freeze their coin? Like now there's a lot of people that froze their coin and then they can only unlock it until X date.
Yeah, some of my friends do that, but I don't do that.
Yeah, I saw that happening. I'm not so sure if it's a good idea or not, because you expose yourself to some smart contract thing, and then after, what's going to happen if a lot of people do that? People like me or yourself, we're going to have tools to know when is the unlock happening, and then I would know that override if a lot of supply getting unlocked after a certain day, well, I create sell pressure, so I should sell before that time. That's pretty interesting. And where do you see the meme coins space evolving then from now, which is mostly people like trading on pump fund? We start to see more people holding for their bag for longer term, a lot with the coins you said. And then I think like even myself, I built a long-term portfolio as well. I have to be honest, I did not do as detailed strategy as you do. Like usually for me, I check the top holders and things like that, and then I check with the narrative. I think it will be interesting to categorize them. So where's the meme space going for you in the next 6 months?
I have several theories. I think obviously meme coins are going much higher next year. I'm at this point in time, I'm a big believer in sort of mid-cap cults. You know the 10 coins that I like the most, but generally as a whole, I think we're going to see a transition from animal coins to non-animal coins. I think real memes are going to do really well, and I think we're even going to start a transition away from like joke coins to like slightly more serious coins, because meme coins, they have traditionally been funny, but they don't have to be. And I think we're going to see some like a little bit more serious coins in the meme coin sphere as well.
Got it. I mean, Mudang, what do you think about Mudang that conquered the media space and the crypto space?
I think if you bought super cheaply and have been selling recently in like the 200 to 300 million range, that's an amazing trade. But I personally, like I said, I don't buy new launches. I only buy after one or two major dips. And again, I don't really like animal coins that much. I think inspiration is going to be increasingly important for community building because the meme coin space will become very competitive, and a hippo just doesn't inspire me personally.
But it's alive though. Most of the animal meme coins we have, we don't. The animal behind it is dead or is too old, or we never saw it again. Like it's usually only one picture and then nothing else. So I think that's why there's a bit of.
I mean,
difference.
Nero is alive as well, right?
Yeah, but Nero started as a beta play of Doge, right? So it's like kind of a boring one, nothing new. It's another Shiba coin.
Fair. Yeah. I mean, hippo is definitely newer than dogs, but again, personally, I just personally don't resonate with animals.
Yeah, I understand. And also Nero was only crypto degenerate cared about Nero, and the rest of the world did not care at all. You mentioned a lot about like the cycle that would happen with meme coins 2025. How long have you been in crypto actually?
I bought my first crypto in 2013, but in terms of active involvement, I've been here since 2016, 2017.
Okay, so that's a good point. I wanted to ask this because I feel like this bull market or this market that we are in, everyone around kind of have an agenda of like, okay, this is what's going to happen. So October for sure it's going to go up, and then this is going to happen, and then 2025 is going to be the real bull run. But as far as I know, by definition, markets are unpredictable and do not follow the rhythm that we want them to follow. So how can we be sure it would happen? Or like, I mean, more that like, what makes you think that it's going to be a up market in 2025, particularly for crypto?
Yeah, I think on short terms, like the shorter term, the harder it is to predict. But I think on medium term, long term, there's some more sort of sustainable patterns. If this cycle is anything like similar to the previous ones, usually sort of like year 4, the performance of the entire crypto space is particularly strong. In the year after the elections, the performance is also historically very strong. And a lot of the sort of the TradFi global liquidity money supply metrics are also starting to curl up right now. So putting all of these together, of course, there's no guarantees, but I think like statistics is in our favor at the moment. And again, I'm not making any predictions about October, November, December, but I think like 12 to 15 months out, my bias is bullish.
Okay. And what's going to be your selling plan then? You say you're going to hold till the end of 2025, right? You're not going to sell anything, or are you?
Yeah. Well, I have targets, and my targets for all 10 coins are public. So if we hit my targets, I'm going to start DCing out. And if we don't hit my targets, I will consider DCing out based on time, aka Q4 of 2025, or just like TradFi / macro metric.
Okay, interesting. Actually, someone on Twitter asked like, why are your targets so low for meme coins?
I think they were being sarcastic.
What are your targets? For S&P 6900, for example.
Well, my S&P 6900 target is 100 billion, and then my giga target is 50 billion. And my
50 billion. Yes. So let me pull out the chart, and then after that you will start to DCA out, right?
Yes.
And if this does not happen, you just don't sell anything.
Well, if this doesn't happen, like I said, I'm going to be just looking at BTC, time, and macro.
Okay, so S&P is at $100 million market cap, so that's a 1000x, am I right? Yes. I'm doing okay. But then does it even work? And because like I guess like the valuation of Solana should go really up as well as the meme space goes up, like Solana or Ethereum. So 100 billion will be a third of Ethereum, of something that is priced in Ethereum.
I mean, yeah, Ethereum and Solana are going to be going up as well though. But also, I think compared to past cycles, we are going to start to see a divergence between the chain and the memes, because now there's a lot of companies and platforms and apps that allow you to go from fiat directly into memes, like Moonshot, I think Slingshot, Spot, and a couple of others. They allow you to just go Apple Pay to memes or bank account to memes. And I think that lets you skip the blockchain, skip the gas, skip having to buy ETH or SOL. So, of course, it helps if ETH and SOL go up, but we're gradually going to see memes become their own thing.
Well, we still mostly sell the memes towards the native token, so That's going to create some kind of pressure. So you could see, would you see a meme flipping, being bigger than Solana? Or I don't know, actually, the sum of all the market cap of meme as of today, is it bigger than the market cap of Solana?
No, Solana market cap is bigger. I think
And
this cycle,
could it be bigger?
all memes, can all memes flip Solana? Yes, that's possible. I actually think that I think actually the size of all memes is going to be similar to like the size of Solana by the end of the cycle.
So then you see like a really strong bull market. And if we start to see those coins pushing up, like what is your target for Bitcoin?
Anywhere between 120K and 200K.
Okay, that's reasonable. That's reasonable. It's not a 1000x. What about Solana then?
Anywhere around 1,000, I don't think that's crazy.
Okay, yeah. That's an optimistic one, but yeah, that's one I heard a lot. However, I think like meme coins are easy to trade on Solana so far because the pricing of Solana make it easy, you know. It's like it's $150 and you know, like if you go 0.1 it's $15. If you go 1 SOL and anything like that, it's like the pricing make it easy. Where like versus like other chain kind of complicated, like particularly Ethereum, like that require, unless you put 1:2, 3, it require a bit of a mental math, and I think like everything complicated will push retail away. But as you said, if we have an adoption of meme coins through basically, could we call it on-chain abstraction, where I just buy from fiat to memes and I never interacted with the native token without knowing it.
Yeah, and I think you're going to start seeing more apps like this. And the future is just people going straight from fiat into memes rather than having to buy the native chain asset first.
That makes sense. Well, that was really interesting. Thank you a lot, Murad. Do you have something to say before we close the podcast? If you want to chill a cheater that is a bit of 100K market cap, now it's the time.
I don't really show small caps, but
I know.
the only thing that I'll tell people is stop trading and believe in something.
Yeah. Do you think meme coins are the new religion?
So I think the religion of the future will look completely different to religions of the past. And if you study any sort of new things that emerge and then become huge, whether it's in technology or socially, new things always start off looking as like a childish joke or a toy or something like small and niche. That being said, I think the greatest meme coins will have religious characteristics to them.
Interesting. Are you religious actually in one of the more classical way?
I'm agnostic personally.
Okay. All right. I think I'm not going to ask more questions about the religion thing between the future of religion, because that would take at least another hour. But let us know, guys, in the comments if you want to hear more about that. Go follow Murad on Twitter. Really interesting things always. Bringing the data to meme coins, bringing some pragmatism to it, and some gigantic targets. Thank you again.
Thank you.